The play-ins are done, folks. They are done. That means we've got 1 and 8s perfectly set up. We've got the Pelicans playing the Suns, and we got the Hawks playing the Heat. Both of them probably going to be light work. Unfortunately for the Clippers, because the Clippers should be in this spot, which would have set up for an elite 8-1 matchup, a battleground from the Western Conference Finals last year. But of course, my man Playoff P is the gift that keeps on giving and can't even get to the playoffs. Playoff P is now Play-in P. Fucks around and gets COVID. COVID. How do you get COVID between game 1 of the play-in game and game 2? You lose in Minnesota. What were you doing there? There's not even any good strip clubs in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, for you to go and shenanigan. You know he's married. He's married to his former stripper. He's married, has kids with her. So there's not even any of that in order to, like, entice you. And then he would have gone back to L.A. to play his own home playoff game against the Pelicans. And no, COVID. And as a quick aside, the win that the Pelicans eked out over the Clippers was actually personal to me. Very personal. Extremely personal to me. All right, so now that the Pelicans go to the first round, they are now not lottery eligible. So they get no lottery balls, which means that the Blazers do not get their lottery pick from pick 5 to 14. What pick do you think we get, you might ask? Probably next year, right? Like a next year's first for the Pels. They'll still be bad. No, sir. We get the 2025 first-round pick. We have to wait till 2025 first-round pick, but not the Pelicans' first-round pick. It's the Milwaukee Bucks first-round pick. So it's probably going to be pick 30. Fuck that. The defending champs pick. That's the one that we get. And of course, which made it equally, this is a total aside, which made it equally painful for me, was there were how many former Blazers were on those two teams? It was sickening. You had, on the Clippers, you had Robert Covington. You had my man Norm Powell. You had Nick Batum, way back Blazer, D'ing up. Literally, like, do something, Nick Batum. And, of course, Club Trillion, Tony Snell on that team. 4 former Blazers on the Clippers. Also, C.J. McCollum on the Pels, Larry Nance Jr. on the Pels. Both eating. Fuck that. Gross. Gross. So, yeah, we'll get back to that. We've got some storylines, but the matchup that I care the most about, well, the matchups that I care the most about, 2 7s. The 2 7s are elite. Number 2 Celtics versus the 7 Nets. And damn, did that not disappoint. That was everything that we could have asked for and more. Kyrie nuclear. Celtics escape on everything that you want them to do, right? All the while, they've been succeeding through iso ball. But no, not this time. They made extra pass after extra pass. They were pump faking. We had Marcus Smart pump fake out of a 3, which he loves threes. He took 10 that night, by the way. Took a pump fake and found a Jason Tatum cutting to an Al Horford. Come on now, with like literally 0 seconds on the clock. Jason Tatum strapped KD, held him to more turnovers than points in the first half. What? On Easter, first and foremost, also, we already know. Because that wasn't even close. It wasn't even close to that being the only thing that was at hand. Let's talk about Kyrie and the Boston Celtics fans. Because he would like to tell us that there is no hostility. He said it to Nick Friedel. It's not hostility, bro. I'm not sure what it is, but it's something. Kai, at one point, just for those who are listening to the podcast aren't fully up to speed on history. They're not like, it's not fully in the forefront of their mind. Kyrie Irving was supposed to play the remainder of his career out in Boston. He was traded from the Cavs, and he wanted to go to a place with multiple banners, which the Nets have none. But he wanted to go somewhere with multiple banners for a chance to make his own route. And things got toxic fast. He said, if you guys will have me, I'm planning to sign the extension. It was on like one of the first games of the season. He announced it in front of the crowd. Everybody, Kyrie, we love you. And then all of a sudden, him and Terry Rozier fucking around in beef. You've got issues with everything. Like, he's mailing it in after an injury-plagued year the year before. Kyrie then ends up leaving on his own accord, as we know, not staying the remainder of his career as a Boston Celtics. Celtics fans, big mad. Big mad. Because did you see him? Imagine putting Kyrie Irving in that lineup. What? Excuse me? Marcus Smart off the bench? Kyrie Irving starting point guard? Derek White in the mix? Al Horford? Ugh. What? So, yeah, they're salty. They're salty balls. So he comes back to the Garden. He's always burning Palo Santo or whatever before he comes and plays there just to get the bad juju out. So he comes and plays in the first round last year, stomps on Lucky, the Boston logo, puts everybody in a big baby Davis, then gets involved. Look it up. It was just a lot of fanfare. And he gets a lot of hate now, obviously. A fan also later threw a bottle at Kyrie in Game 4 last year. Things highly charged, we'll say. Not hostile, highly charged. It's probably the best way of putting it. So, yeah, you knew this playoff was going to be intense. They've got the win-or-go-home mentality. They were a playing team pretty much most of the year because Kyrie Irving doesn't want to get vaccinated. And holy shit, was it ever intense. 17 lead changes in the game. Back and forth all day. Who's going to win? Kai, historic. 39 points, 6 for 10 from 3, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, 1 block. And boy, was he not quiet about it. He was not quiet about it. Fans were heckling him all night. Kyrie flipped them off at minimum 4 times. I don't know if you want to count the double flip as 1 or 2. Hard to do math school on that, folks. Then at halftime, a fan was like, Kyrie, you suck. And he said what? He said, what did he say? He said, thank you so much for your support. No, he said, suck my dick, bitch. That's what he said. That's what he said. I didn't make that up. That's not like my synopsis. That's a direct quote. Also, come to find out, it was probably 5 flip-offs because there was a legendary behind-the-head double bird. The double bird. Best part, though, in terms of the drama, was the post-game ask about the drama that Kyrie Irving simply didn't want any part of. Let's hit that clip.
It looked like there were a couple times where you gave the fans the finger. I'm curious, was there anything that you thought crossed the line today, and are you the kind of guy that gets motivated by kind of going back and forth with the fans? Do you kind of use that internally as something to fire you up?
Look, I mean, I'm just where I'm from. You know, I'm used to all these antics and people being close nearby. You know, it's nothing new when I come into this building, what it's going to be like. But it's the same energy they have for me, and I'm going to have the same energy for them. And it's not every fan. I don't want to attack every fan, every Boston fan. But, you know, when people start yelling pussy and bitch and fuck you and all this stuff, it's but so much you can take as a competitor. And, you know, we're the ones expected to be docile and be humble and take a humble approach. Nah, fuck that. It's the playoffs. This is what it is.
No,
you know, I know what to expect in here, and it's the same energy I'm giving back to them. It is what it is. I'm not really focused on it. It's fun. You know what I'm saying? And like again, where I'm from, I've dealt with so much. So coming in here, you relish it as a competitor. And this is...
Pause. Kyrie has dealt with so... I think Kyrie grew up... Did he grow up middle class? Did he grow up in Cherry Hill?
You know, I'm going to keep repeating myself when I say again, but this isn't my first time in TD Garden. So what you guys saw and what you guys think is as entertainment, or the fans think is entertainment, all is fair in competition, you know. So if somebody's going to call me out of my name, I'm going to look at them straight in the eye and see if they really about it. Most of the time, they're not.
Then, the Nick Friedel one was the one I was trying to play. Where is that one? He basically said it wasn't hostility, but he's embracing the dark side. Let's find that one real quick.
To that point, do you feel like the hostility that you get still...
Let's not focus on this. Like, ask me questions about the game. Like, it's not about the fans. The fans aren't playing.
From a basketball standpoint.
I not know that Kyrie Irving likes Nick Friedel.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the hostility you get?
There's no hostility, bro. It's basketball.
Well, you were flicking some people off. I'd say that's some hostility.
From what? What point? Are you guessing that that's hostility, or like
Well, you
hostility
don't
for
see-
me is
you
like
have-
growing up?
Well, we've never seen that from you this season, where you are running down
He
the floor.
tried to pull
flicking
the
people
growing
off.
up thing on us
This is the
again.
first time you actually caught it because it's a big time game. I respond in different ways. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to focus on that. If you want to ask me questions about the fans, go ask them. Go on the street and ask them questions.
Go man on the
But
street
I'm
on
asking
them.
from your perspective, from a basketball perspective, do you feel like the hostility that you get?
It's not
from
hostility,
fans,
bro.
Do you feel like the energy you get from fans in this building brings
Embrace
out
it.
the best from you?
Embrace it. Embrace it. It's the dark side. Embrace it.
No one's talking enough about the fact that Kyrie Irving's definition of hostility is wrong. That what's going on? Let's quickly do a little like Google search on the word, 'cause unfriendliness, opposition, conflict, hostility, all those three things true. Also, did you notice Kyrie Irving tried, this isn't even a part of what we were planning on talking about, but he tried to bring it back around to his struggle again, his life, his, I don't know, we've all gone through things. We've all seen things that maybe aren't on Wikipedia. But listen, what I can Google about Kyrie Irving is that he lived in Melbourne, Australia, a suburb of Kew, before relocating when he was 2 years old because his dad played basketball. Folks, I'm not even going to go into it because I don't know enough. I'm just going to say upon first glance, I want to make sure that everyone knows I didn't dig into this and say it was a lie. I'm just saying it's suspect to me. That's all. It's just a little suspect to me. No hostility. Incorrect, sir. Anyway, the shit is going to be lit every game, especially at the Garden. I hope we get 4 games at the Garden. And we will get 4 40-point performances from Kyrie Irving, and they're going to need every one for them to win this series. My God, has it been fun already.